The Atlanta Falcons have signed Kevin Stefanski as the new head coach for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, when I said Matt Ryan was the new president of football, I was happy. I was excited. Y'all know I love Matt. And I stated there was no possible way, in no realm, in no universe, in no multiverse, that the Falcons would sign Kevin Stefanski. But now, this is absolutely freaking ridiculous. There was no way this is supposed to be humanly possible, but it is possible. And I've seen a lot of Falcons fans be optimistic, like, oh my gosh, this is a great hire. This is not a great hire. This is one of the most ridiculous hires in history. And this hire doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't look good on our team. You know why? Because in the beginning of this whole situation with Kevin Stefanski, obviously, you know, he's linked to the Shador and stuff like that. That's not a good look. As a Falcons fans, you know, we love Deion Sanders. So that way we support his kid, which is Shador Sanders. The whole situation in the draft with the whole prank call to him, that was somebody that was on the Falcons. Boom. The people that broke into Shador's house, supposedly, they're from Atlanta. Boom. And what do the Falcons do? Go hire Stefanski as a coach in Atlanta. It does not look good. And for Arthur Blank to say that, oh, and I told you, I'm a defender of Arthur Blank, but this does not add up at all. For Arthur Blank to say, guys, you know what? I listen to the fans. I care about the culture. This is literally the worst thing, the worst sign that you could possibly do. And the fact that he said he wanted a winning culture. So you care about the culture and you want a winning culture, but you hire a guy like Kevin Stefanski. This is terrible. And y'all may be like, oh wow, you know, like, elaborate all that other stuff. You just talking about this. People talking about, oh, 2-time coach of the year, whatever. Oh, it's the Browns, all the other bullcrap. Boom. But if y'all do not know, this is a what have you done for me lately league. This is not a 2020. If you want to go bring up 2020, you can do whatever you want. But guess what? In the last 2 seasons, Raheem Morris have won 8 and 9. Am I correct? 8 and 9 the last 2 seasons. Boom. 8 and 9, 8 and 9. Which means Raheem Morris in the past 2 seasons is 16 and 18. That's who we let go, right? Now, for me, obviously we wanted Clint Kubiak. Boom. He's doing a great job. You saw what he did to the 49ers, our old offensive coordinator, Kyle Shanahan, some years ago. He completely destroyed him on offense and dominated. Boom. Now for a coach like Mike McDaniels, who was cool. I like Mike McDaniels. You know what I'm saying? Young dude. But his overall record is 35 and 35. But guess what? His record in 2 seasons is 15 and 19. Boom. Do you know what this man, Kevin Stefanski's record is in 2 seasons? 8 and 26. But somehow Arthur Blank has said, you know what? We want a winning culture. So you go after the guy that only won 8 games in 2 seasons. 8 and 26. And for a guy who has shown he cannot manage young quarterbacks. Look at Baker Mayfield. Oh yeah, Baker Mayfield. Why is he going now? Why is he flourishing in Tampa Bay? Why couldn't he do anything with him in Cleveland? Why is the whole situation of every time times gets tough, what does he does? He brings when it comes to the offensive play calling, he gave up his offensive play calling toward the end of the year. Because you know why? He was not good to call the plays. Now, in this situation, he almost puts he's going to be worse than Zach Robinson. He's going to be worse than Raheem Morris. They literally picked the coach that's going to be worse than Raheem Morris. And they're going to pick a play caller because I'm pretty sure he's going to call the plays worse than Zach Robinson. This is absolutely ridiculous. If y'all, listen, the only reason why I got the season pass, NFL ticket, whatever, was to watch Shador play. And I follow all of their media from that whole thing and all that other stuff. I got the deal when it was $48. I watched all the post-game conferences with Kevin Stefanski. I watched all the games with Kevin Stefanski towards the end when Shador played. Like I said, this is what have you done for me lately. For an 8 and 26 coach to fire a 16 and 18 coach, this is absolutely freaking stupid if you want to talk about a winning culture. And if you talk about the culture itself, these people are, the Falcons fans as a whole, this dude is about to get booed out the building day one because of that reason. It is not a good look at all, 100%. If you talking about this is the coach we want to be in, or we want to win, all that other stuff, it does not add up. He has proved he is not a winner. He has proved that he is not for the culture, and he has proved that he cannot develop young quarterbacks. 100%. That's where my argument has come in. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, 100%. You cannot deny that. 8-26, you cannot deny that. Especially with one of the best defenses in the league, especially last year. You cannot deny that. And obviously, the Falcons over this past year has had one of the best defenses we ever had. It would be nice if Matt Ryan, when he's playing, we had this type of defense. But this is terrible. This is bad. And look at this real quick. You know, I did the whole salute thing. Shout out to Kevin Stefanski, you know, RIP. Because this is exactly what's going on. And I looked at something real quick. By the way, you see this right here? The Falcons, Arthur Blank has been subliminally showing us over the past years. You know what waving the white flag means? That we have given up. Because there was, you know, years when we was actually winning, it was red flags, it was black flags, it was, I think, even gray flags. But lately, these last couple of years, it's been the same white flag, except only it's not hard plastic. This is an old one. It has been foam. So we have been waving the white flag to every single team because of how trash it's been. So, like I said, this is a terrible hire. Kevin Stefanski in his whole career is 46-58. Raheem Morris is 37-56. And even it's just crazy. This doesn't make any sense. Even though I was a little bit iffy about Michael Penix coming back as our quarterback, he's definitely not coming back now for sure. You know that's not going to happen. As far as Stefanski being the head coach, like I told you, it's what have you done for me lately, league. I don't like him as a head coach. I don't like his demeanor. I don't see how he fits as a winning coach. I'm like, oh, he never had a quarterback. He has had quarterbacks. He has multiple quarterbacks, and he couldn't do anything with him. Then his play calling is worse as Dak Robinson's. So what we're going to see in these, if he's actually calling the plays, we're going to see a whole bunch of screen plays. We're going to see a whole bunch of passes to the tight ends, which is not bad. And Bijan Robinson, even though I was like, yo, we using Bijan over and over. Bijan is a Bijan show. If you thought this man wasn't, if we thought we was using him now, just wait until Kevin Stefanski calls the plays. This man Bijan probably will break the all-time record for the most yards per scrimmage in the season. I hope Bijan Robinson has a great offseason. He prepares his body because this man will be running to the ground. And it's sad. And what I do not like about this, it continues to water down the talent that we have on the team. We are going to be doing so many check down screen passes on a Dylan Gabriel, Brandon Whedon junk, and not utilizing our talent to go down the field. Especially if somehow, some kind of way, Michael Penix does come back, we will not see this man throw down the field at all. 100%. It's still going to be that same check down. It's still going to be that same run. It's still going to be that same screen. It's still going to be the same. Bijan and Wildcat may be kind of nice, I ain't going to lie. But besides that, and that's the only credit I'm going to get to, Bijan Robinson, the Wildcat in the red zone, may be absolutely insane. But after that, this is the dumbest hire in the history of the organization. And as a huge Matt Ryan fan, I am absolutely disappointed. This is a complete joke. And I told you, I've seen, the news try to act like this is cool. The football media and Falcons fans. Oh yeah, no, this doesn't make any sense at all. You can't even tell me how to make sense. I told you that coach of the year stuff. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. At this point, that has nothing to do with what he's doing now. 8-26 in the last 2 seasons, but we fire a guy for winning 8 and 9 the last 2 seasons. This dude has been worse than Raheem. He has been worse probably than any other coach in the NFL when it comes to records. Do you see what I'm saying? It just doesn't add up that you fire a guy who we wanted to go, by the way. Raheem, I don't know what the heck he was doing. You would think he was the worst coach or whatever. But you hire somebody that has won less than him. It does not add up. It is stupid. And I don't know how you do that. As far as Deion Sanders, this makes no sense. The whole Atlanta thing, the whole culture thing, the whole everything. It's like a huge slap in the face to Deion Sanders. This is an absolute freaking joke, and there is no possible way. I don't know how we win anything this year. 100%. As y'all know, I'm a Falcons fan, but I'm a real Falcons fan. Y'all like to call me a fake fan because I speak the truth and how I feel. and I pull up stats and I pull up situations, like I'm pulling up the record, I'm pulling up the reason why I don't want him to be the coach, and I showed y'all only one thing positive, and that's Bijan Robinson being in the Wildcat formation. Other than that, his play calling is terrible, his leadership is terrible, and that's the reason why they wanted him out in Cleveland in the first place, and that's the reason why supposedly he was a loser. That's why he got let go in the first place. So now that's what I'm saying. How do you bring in somebody that's worse than Raheem? That's what bothers me. And how do you say that you want a winning culture, but he's worse than Raheem? How do you say you want a leader, but he's a worse leader? You see what I'm saying? That makes no sense to me at all. That whole argument is what bothers me. This whole situation is literally aggravating. There is no possible way that this is a good coach hire. I don't know how people are like. Even I'm surprised. Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco, all these other guys, and everything like that, and everything that I'm seeing from YouTube, people are like, oh yeah, this is great. I don't see any possible way that this is great. Y'all let me know how y'all feel, but this does not add up. 100%. He hasn't done anything. Has he won a playoff game? Yes, back in the old days, he's won one playoff game. So has Kirk Cousins one playoff game. Mike McDaniels has won two playoff games. He has lost two. Raheem Morris, as a head coach, he doesn't have any playoff wins. So if you want to compare that, one playoff win, he's one play. Well, he's one game better than the other guys. You know what I'm saying? But Clint Kubiak right now he should have been the guy, man. And I know people want Mike Tomlin, but I feel like he's about to take a break. Obviously, his daughter plays for Georgia Bulldogs, gymnastics and stuff like that. So he would have stayed in the state of Georgia if that was the case, so he can watch his daughter. But I feel like he's going to take a break. When it comes to Mike McDaniels, I told you I would have been straight. When it comes to Clinton Kubiak, I would have been straight. When it comes to John Harbaugh, I was a little iffy on that. But he would have been 100% way better signing than this man, Kevin Stefanski. At least he's a Super Bowl champion. At least he's a winner. This guy is the biggest loser out of all the coaches right now. And it doesn't make any sense. I can't wrap it around my head for anybody to think this is a good idea, because I know how actually watching him coach and actually watching the press conference, actually watching the game, and actually watching all that stuff, all the play calling, everything that goes with it. This is the worst coach in the history of the Falcons already before he even gets a chance. 100%. I believe this will be the shortest tenure of a Falcon coach in history. And I told y'all that about Kirk Cousins. I knew he wasn't going to last long. I showed about Raheem. I've been ranting about everything so far. But this is a terrible, 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 terrible decision. And I'm not just saying that off of emotion. I'm saying that on stats. I can be emotionally involved of a team that I've been watching since I was a kid, before I was even born yet, and seeing the trend and the whole explanation, it doesn't add up. The city of Atlanta does not want this man. 100%. We could have had anybody else but this dude, and we would have been fine. This dude sucks. This dude is not a leader. This dude is not a good head coach. That whole coach of the year stuff, guess what? That was voted. That was voted by the media. That wasn't even voted by the peers. It definitely wasn't voted by the players. And it bothers me for me to feel like possibly, Deion could have been our head coach. You know what I'm saying? You'll leave Colorado. That would have been cool. Maybe we should trade for Shedeur Sanders to go to the Falcons. That would have been cool. But for us, after everything that gets Stefanski, after watching the media and be like, man, I'm glad we don't have him as a head coach. To have him as a head coach now, that completely bothers me, man. Wow. So with that being said, as much flames that I talked about Raheem this season and Zach Robinson, hey, we've got somebody worse, bro. So I wish them nothing but the best. And what they say, be careful what you wish for, because it's over. Falcons about to have the worst season in history, bro. Matt Ryan, I can't believe it, bro. Arthur Blank, I can't believe it as well. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Let me know what y'all think, bro.